Recently, there have been talks about a potential return to the Formula One paddock. But there are not only one but two potential comebacks. The stories come from the tracks of Mercedes and Red Bull. Daniel Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher might be back in the driver's seat soon. But what needs to happen for that to become a reality? Let's find out. As always, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more Formula One content. It seems Mercedes boss Toto Wolff has his eyes set on getting Mick Schumacher back on the F1 grid. Now, if you haven't been following the Schumacher saga, let us cue you in. Mick, the son of the legendary Michael Schumacher, had a bit of a bumpy ride with Haas in 2022. His start was rocky, to say the least, with his teammate Magnussen outpacing him in the beginning of the season. But Schumacher made a lot of improvements throughout the year of 2022, reducing the performance gap between him and Magnussen. In an interview with Amos, the youngster opened up about the difficulties he faced, including his struggles with the car setup at the start of the season. However, he and his team caught on and kept improving, and they had much better performances at the end of the season. Now, Haas's decision to sign Nico Hülkenberg instead of Schumacher sparked controversy on social media. Some F1 fans were unimpressed, claiming that Hülkenberg's past performances showed he's no faster or more consistent than Schumacher. Their decision to set points as a minimum requirement for Schumacher was questionable because of how less competitive the Fiat 22 was, and the drawn-out negotiations between Schumacher and Hülkenberg left some scratching their heads. All in all, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for Schumacher with his previous team Haas, but Toto Wolff extended a helping hand and brought him into the Mercedes family as a reserve driver for this season. Wolff always had a strong connection with the Schumachers. He's been talking about Mick Schumacher and how the whole Schumacher family is close to Mercedes. Ralf Schumacher has been with Mercedes for a long time, and his son races their cars and GTs. It's clear that Mercedes has a soft spot for the Schumacher family, and that's why Mick is now one of the reserves on their team. Now, he's loving the experience, but let's be real here. Who wouldn't want to make a grand return to F1? And Toto Wolff, being the determined guy that he is, has taken it upon himself to make this dream a reality. According to the grapevine, Wolff has some secret contacts outside of Mercedes, and he's putting them to good use. And who's he reaching out to? None other than Williams, a team he knows like the back of his hand. You see, Toto had shares in the team in the past, and he's well acquainted with their team principal, James Vowles. Wolff is on a mission to convince Vowles to give Mick Schumacher a seat at Williams, replacing their rookie driver Logan Sargeant. Imagine the Schumacher legacy continuing, this time with the iconic Williams team. Will Vowles take the bait? And will Mick get his shot at redemption? These are the burning questions that keep us on the edge of our seats. And now, guess who is also ready to jump back into the driver's seat? It's none other than Daniel Ricciardo. The rumors suggest that he could be replacing AlphaTauri's struggling rookie, Nyck DeVries. Last season, McLaren bid farewell to the Aussie driver after a couple of lackluster years together. Instead of settling for a seat at the back of the grid for 2023, Ricciardo decided to take a break by rejoining his old pals at Red Bull. Now this guy was a force to be reckoned with during his previous stint with Red Bull, winning 7 races between 2014 and 2018. But then he made a bold move, hopping over to Renault, only to end up at McLaren a couple of years later. It's been a mixed bag of results since then, with occasional flashes of brilliance. During the Australian Grand Prix weekend, Ricciardo and a bunch of team principals shared their thoughts on his future. And guess what? Christian Horner, the big boss at Red Bull, believes that after a nice break over the holidays, Ricciardo is back in top form. He's like a man on a mission, ready to recreate his glory days at Red Bull. Now there's an interesting twist. F1 rookies usually need time to find their footing, but not when you're on the Red Bull payroll. They want instant results, and past drivers who didn't measure up have learned that the hard way. And now, Nyck DeVries might be joining that unfortunate list if he doesn't up his game soon. According to Motorsport.com, Helmut Marko, the chief of Red Bull's driver development program, has given DeVries an ultimatum. The upcoming races in Italy, Monaco, and Spain will be his make-or-break moment. If he doesn't do better, he could find himself replaced mid-season. And guess who might take his spot? That's right, the one and only Red Bull reserve driver, Daniel Ricciardo. DeVries has had a rough start to his Formula One career, facing heavy criticism throughout the season. Can you believe it? He's yet to score a single point. His best finish so far has been a lackluster 14th place in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. Things took a turn for the worse for DeVries at the Miami Grand Prix when he collided with Lando Norris in the very first corner. Talk about a costly mistake. That incident pretty much rendered his Q2 appearance irrelevant. The poor guy just can't catch a break. To make matters worse, DeVries' teammate, Yuki Tsunoda, has been making strides and showing real potential this year. Tsunoda has stepped up his game and proven that he can lead the AlphaTauri squad. Sorry, DeVries, but the pressure is on. Dr. Helmut Marko, the Red Bull advisor, once had high hopes for DeVries, seeing him as a potential leader for AlphaTauri. But rumor has it that Marko's opinion of the 28-year-old has taken a nosedive. He's reportedly given DeVries just 3 races to shape up or ship out. Talk about a tough ultimatum. An unnamed source from Red Bull said, and we quote, "The performance has been disappointing so far. If Marko thinks someone else can do better, you won't hesitate to give them a chance." That means the clock is ticking for DeVries. If DeVries gets the boot in the middle of the season, it seems that Ricciardo is the frontrunner to take his place. The Aussie driver has even been spotted in Faenza for a seat fitting, fueling the rumors. But hey, let's not jump the gun just yet. It could all be part of his development driver role. Ricciardo is gearing up for a Pirelli tire test after the British Grand Prix, where he'll get an opportunity to showcase his skills. And guess what? He hinted at the possibility of another test after Monza in September. But don't hold your breath for a return to Red Bull for Ricciardo yet. Marko has made it clear that Sergio Perez's contract will be respected. Perez is locked in until the end of 2024, which means Ricciardo will have to wait until 2025 to have a shot at that seat. Well, plans don't always pan out, do they? Now there might be other teams who are looking for these 2 fantastic drivers, so we might see surprises. So what do you think? Will Mick's return to F1 be a continuation of the Schumacher legacy or a fresh start for him? And will Ricciardo manage to live up to the expectations if he's back on the track? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Formula One content.